Hello, everybody. This is Heather Alexandra for Kotaku, and today we are talking about Sea of Thieves. This is Rare's upcoming ship battle-y, treasure hunty, pirate crewy game. It's coming out hopefully in spring 2018. I got to play this last week at an Xbox event in Manhattan where they were showing off the Xbox One X and a couple of the games that were going to come out in the fall. And following that, I eat a banana to get started because I need potassium. I don't know if that fights off scurvy. Does it? Let me know in the comments below. It's not a lime, so I'm not sure. So before I joined up with these folks, this is a journalist and some of the dev team. They had run their ship aground and they had to repair their ship. And after they repaired, they decided to go on a treasure hunt, and I asked if I could join them. What we're doing here, besides me just hopping around and learning the controls, is we are going to take out all the cannonballs from the cannons. We're going to make sure we have the right angle, and then we are going to climb into the cannon. Because one great way to get over to an island instead of swimming is to have your best buddy point you over there and fire you out there like it's Tetra sending Link into the Forbidden Fortress. So we land right there. I feel pretty good. I was afraid I was going to hit that wall there and get splattered. That would have been really, really embarrassing. But flying over there is pretty good. It's dark on this island, so it's hard for me to figure out where to go. But I end up going over here to the cliff edge because I want to see somebody else get blasted. And I think it's like 3, 2, 1 or so. Maybe. No, there's like, yeah, it's going to happen right now. They get fired out. It's super great. I think that's a really fun way to get to where you need to go. On the island itself, I guess you can kind of just explore and try to find some treasure. I spent some extra time inside these caves trying to find little trinkets or things like that. But we actually do have each of us kind of individual pieces of a riddle that will help us find the treasure. And the big thing is that we really just need to find a picture of a monstrous foe and then go a little east of where that is. So it turns out that my hint is going to find us one of the treasures that is pretty close. People can have maps. They can use that for navigation and everything, especially when you're on ships. People can do a lot of different things at once. Here, we're just kind of looking around to find where we might find the treasure. And obviously, this is a demo, so the dev team kind of knows and shot us pretty close to it, I think, right? Anytime you're playing a demonstration with some developers, even though developers are awesome, cool people, you know they're kind of leading you on a little bit. But that's okay. That's part of the fun, because now we get to fight all of these wonderful skeletons, which are super scary. You have a sword, you have a blunderbuss, and a flintlock that you can use. I just like running up against the skeletons and bashing them with my sword until they explode. Anytime you disturb treasure, there's going to be some baddies that are going to show up. Most of the time, at least I think for big treasure chests. I don't know exactly what you do with all the gold. I tried asking them exactly what you do with all of your plunder, because we're going to go turn it in at the end of this. But they didn't really want to reveal much of the progression system. I have to imagine that you can buy better gear if you are really into having a nice boat and maybe doing some PvP with other people on the high seas. You can probably get better stuff on the boat. There's a little graphics glitch right there. But we grab the chest and then more monsters show up. I don't think my blunderbuss is loaded. Yeah, it clicks right there. So I try and load it and go, hey, screw that. It's too slow. So I take out my pistol and run up. Bash this guy in the head. I get scared for a second because that guy nailed to the tree. I thought that he might have been another skeleton. Thank gosh he wasn't, because I have to imagine with like more dangerous treasure, there's going to be like so many more monsters, so many more skeletons and stuff. This game seems like it's going to be something really fun to play with a bunch of friends. Out of the things that I played at this Xbox event, they had some of the bigger things there, Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed, Origins. Those are cool games, but this feels really fun and kind of unique. And in some ways, it makes me think of Guns of Icarus, but with a lot more sort of player versus environment stuff that you can do. I just like the idea of going around on a pirate ship, swimming around, grabbing treasure, maybe finding some cool sea monsters. I hope that there's like a giant kraken that you can battle. I don't know how big the scale of this game will be. Obviously, this is really small because it's kind of a technical alpha build. But I really did enjoy getting in there. So we are going to head up into our ship. And the nice thing about here is they actually The other guy had been driving the ship for a little bit, and because he had run it aground last time and they needed repairs, I thought maybe like, no, I can be a gunner. But we saw that there was a port nearby, again, demo build, so they're kind of giving us the easy experience. I did a little bit of a Titanic thing here, because why the hell not? It's also just kind of a really fun, cartoony art style that I really like. They're pulling up the anchor, so I'm going to come up here and take the wheel. I just have to wait for them to pull up that big chain anchor. Anything that involves, like, you can dig together, you can pull up the anchor together. Sometimes you can get a lot more things going faster if you're working as a team, unfurling the sails, things like that. In this case, we have most of what we need. The anchor's pulled up, so we're going to gently drift ever so comfortably to port. And we finally catch wind, which is really nice. You can kind of see that in the air above. You can kind of see the wind currents. Reminds me of Wind Waker in some ways. And then somebody pulls out a wonderful little accordion and starts playing. And I think it was one of the devs trying to get a little cheeky with me. I can't see them because I'm trying to go around, but they get right up here playing a jaunty sea shanty. One of my favorite things about the sea, because I have multiple favorite things about the sea, includes wonderful sea shanties. Unfortunately, he falls down to the edge there. The shanties in Black Flag, Assassin's Creed, were some of the best things about that game. Pirates are just cool. Bounding around on the seas with friends is really awesome. And so we get near this outpost, and we're just going to go there, and we're going to turn in our treasure. And finally, he manages to get comfortable, pull out an accordion. The way that some of that sounds really makes me think of Monkey Island. Secret of Monkey Island is one of my favorite games. LeChuck's Revenge is pretty cool, too. I even like Escape from Monkey Island. You can yell at me in the comments below if you think Escape from Monkey Island is really bad. But I think it has a sort of weird charm just because of how funny the switch from the Scum engine going to Lua was. We're trying to see if we want to grab all the treasure. And I get suckered into grabbing this chest of like a bajillion grogs or whatever. And it makes you super drunk. After playing this for a while, like, I have to walk a fair amount to the outpost to get to where we need to go. And I remember after going through this entire process, walking through the hall that had all these games and kind of feeling sick to my stomach. So if any of you get kind of motion sick, just know that we're going to go to the end of this island. We're going to turn in our loot. I have to imagine, too, that there's going to be some really strange curses that are on chests. This seems like a kind of fun, silly one to showcase, easy to implement, as opposed to, like, random gravity spikes or some sort of ghost puppet friend. I don't know what the curses will be. Hopefully there'll be something really fun. I'm not like play acting here. I'm not like a presenter on stage at E3 who's like, yes, of course, I'm here with my real family and friends. This is me actually trying to run around with this god-awful, queasy, drunken chest. This curse is super wacky, but it's also like, if I take a few steps and I kind of screw it up, I'm going to fall into the water. I'm not going to be able to go to where like I need to go. It's kind of a hassle. I don't really want to deal with that. This core loop of like treasure acquisition seems neat, but without knowing exactly what that treasure is spent on, again, I wonder about exactly what that loop is going to be like, especially for people who don't want to go around in the ocean just blasting each other with ships. Even though, I mean, like, if that's what you want to do, if that floats your boat, ha 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 ha, little not intentional pun there as I'm speaking off the cuff, you can just do that, which is really nice. But I like the idea of going on treasure hunts or finding like hidden locations. That's the type of stuff I like. I'm an explorer. I'm not a fighter. But we are going to turn in this. Like, look at me try and get on these stairs. I'm such a moron. Oh my gosh. There we go. We got it. But this one has a ton of gold because it's one of those cursed chests. And then that's kind of it, right? We celebrate. We run off. In order to celebrate, I decide this time I will be the one to bust out the music. They're kind of explaining to me a little bit of like some of the other stuff you can do, but I pull out my accordion and it's a journey well done. I had a lot of fun with this one. This comes out in spring 2018 on Xbox and on PC, and I'm really looking forward to it.